Happy Sunday. How y'all doing today? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I am Wiley, your favorite information scientist and librarian. Today, I had a good day today. I have been watching this church, Bethel AME online. An high school friend had talked to me about them doing a book series that was, or Bible study series back when everybody was working from home during the pandemic. And I think Psalm 91, they were reading through this book, and I showed up and listened in to their Bible study. It was cool. The pastor is, and he publicly says, so this isn't like news, isn't gossip, but he's also a member of this Facebook group and moderates called Unfit Christian, which I love that group because that's like, just think of it as all of of all of the church kids, or I won't say all, but like a huge group of church kids that grew up in church, that now in adulthood and living our lives, there's certain things that we're like, there were really great things that we loved about growing up in Black church. And then there were other things that we were like, I don't know if I believe that, or I don't know if that's necessarily true for me anymore. And you also get to talk about things that are going on in pop culture, things that go on gospel in church that, show up on news feeds, have discussions on that. So it's Unfit Christian. And it's a huge group. The leader of that group is Danny Thompson. She wrote this book that's amazing. I'm definitely planning to get it. It's called The Day God Saw Me as Black. Uh, Great discussions in that group. And from that group, I found out about this other podcast that's called Holy Smokes with Christian Smith, I think, TFC. You look that up or look up Holy Smokes uh podcasts. They do a lot of interesting, amazing podcasts on so many different topics. So centering faith, but decolonized, deconstructed. There you go. So I went to Bethel AME today because, like I said, I went to that Bible study back when everybody was working from home, and then I don't think I continued. And it wasn't anything negative. I just didn't really continue after listening to that Bible study. It was cool and everything. And then I want to say for the last couple of months, I listened to a service, at 11. Like like how I'm coming to you on Zoom here, I do that. Most of the time, I listen to Vision Church just out of Atlanta. Like them, I like them too. I've just never been there physically. And also I don't live in Atlanta. So, but I definitely when my dad passed and I was in Georgia for different bouts, that definitely was my Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, which I was like, I needed it because I love my mom. Yet it is also true that my mom pretty much listens to fundamentalist church. And that's not, I don't know that God. And it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I don't need to know that God. I don't know that God. So I needed something else to listen to in my headsets. And so Vision Church became what I listened to. And I continued it. But I think when I got back, for a little while, there's a group that I participate in called the Wells Group with the information science, not the information science, the psychology, queer, trans, non-binary doctoral group that met. And so I would listen to that and then catch the sermon afterwards. And then I think now this group that I'm mentioning, the Wells group, meets on Wednesdays. So for Sunday, I'll often listen to, because I'm already up, I listen to Bethel AME. And so it was a beautiful day. This weekend, I was trying something different. And you said, what's different? Being out of the house, because a lot of times I'm a pretty much hermit. And other than maybe going to the grocery store or getting groceries delivered, for a lot of weekends, I'm literally sitting at home. And so this time I tried this weekend that I was gonna go out because also I had a eye doctor appointment at in the middle of the day. It was like 12:30. Because sometimes my eye doctor is open on certain Saturdays and they couldn't get me in this week on Friday. and or I think Monday was the best day, but I was busy. So Friday came and they were like they wanted to they said maybe, but then they were like, no, we don't want to try to squeeze you in because your Dr. Kessler is the name of my eye doctor. Um, is busy. So can you come Saturday? And I was like, sure, what time? And they scheduled the appointment for like 12:30. So I was out of the house probably about 11. I got me something to eat. I went to my eye doctor appointment. I noticed they had a festival with food trucks going on in the city. I went to the cigar shop, which I love that video. Have you guys seen it? Where their video is talking about when you go out of the house, you spend money. So I can't remember who it is. I don't know if it's a family or whatever that they're stepping outside, and I think it's the mother is trying to decide will she bring her kids with her, and she notices everywhere they step it's it's expensive. So she decides to leave them at home because it's like $20-$30. That's how I felt, going out of the house, because I was like, man, I went to the eye doctor. It was $30 copay. I went to the cigar place, and I heard myself in my mind say, we're gonna go by the cigar shop because it's right here. And I was, on my way to the bus. And I was like, hey, I said, I'll just get one. That's not what I did. That's not what I did. I started talking to the man in the cigar store. And I was like, oh, do you have? And I pulled it up on my phone, showing it to him. Because I was like, I had asked him that before on the phone many, many months ago. But I'm like, maybe he has it now. He doesn't have it. And then I saw these. I like Cohiba red dots. They're like cigarillos. So I got that. I saw the Dejarum. I don't know if I'm saying that name right, but the blacks, I love those. So I got that. And then I got some other things that I picked up. And all I know is I was at the cash register and it was $32. And I said before just stopping with that, I added something else. And when I went and added it, it was like $89. I was like, what? I was- and then I was like, do I get it? But I was like, but I like these. And it's okay. I can spend the $89. I was just like, I was like, this is your discretionary, because what else do you do? And I was like, we don't really do anything else. Because lately I don't really do eating out. A couple of times this week I did, but for the most part, I take my lunch to work, something that I made at home, or I make a sandwich or something like that. So I'm like, it's cool. But I was laughing at myself because I was like, $8. I'm like, but you do smoke. Chris, you do smoke. So, so I won't have to go back for a little while. So I'm good. I'm good on the cigars. But as I headed, out, then I decided I still didn't want to go home. So I just went riding. I rode over to the north side of town where I used to live and wandered around over there. I went in I went in Myers because I also was trying to decide, did I really want to go to this movie, Exhibiting Forgiveness? I still think I want to go see that movie, but the movie theater that was over there, I think they were only doing a showing at 7:30. And I was like, I don't want to stay over here 5 hours just to see this movie. I was like, maybe I'll go, another weekend to see if it's over at the other movie theater that's closer to me. So I was in the grocery store. I was just wandering around and I found these butter pecan coffee cakes. I've had them a couple of years ago. I want to say it's probably been about 3 years. I was over in one of the grocery stores and I found them and I bought them. And they go really great with coffee. And they generally, I want to say when I found them, it was like around the holiday, like around Thanksgiving is when I found them. And I bought them. They were really good. And I think when I went back to the store, I've never found them since. So I was so excited that just on a random, I'm just over here, killing time, wasting time, just being out and about. They had them. And I was also proud of me because the old me would have put all four boxes in my cart. But I'm working on my weight. And I also said, we're not doing that, but we're gonna get one box. We did. We're gonna get one because I was like, I'm not. I was like, I'm gonna get two. No, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one box. So that was my experience. So all that to say, I still felt like being out, and so I went back to this church, and it was Bethel AME. I got there because I could have sworn on their website that they said church, and then my own experiences of watching them online. It's like church starts at 10:15. But when I got there, they were still in Sunday school. It's small. It's very small. It's like, I want to say today there might have been 30, 50, maybe people there. Sunday school was literally like sitting around your kitchen table. And it felt like being with people who were in the age range of my Black people, who were in the age, Black women and men who were in the age range of my mom and aunts and the people that I went to church with in the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church. The only difference is the African Methodist Episcopal. So I finished there and sat there with them and listened as they finished the Bible study. And then they handed me a program. And the program it was the pastors and men's appreciation day. And the program was really beautiful. I put it on my Instagram. And I might, when I post this video, link it again. But I thought it was interesting because my father's favorite scripture is Proverbs 3:5, which is trust in the Lord, you know, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Um, in all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I'm probably flubbing it, but that's the paraphrase of that scripture. So it's Proverbs 3:5 through 6. So to see Proverbs 3:5 on the front was like, it felt like a hey from heaven because I have also seen that this week in different devotionals, but they didn't call it, that they were talking about that. They would talk about something else at the top, and then you get to the bottom or at the end of it, right, right after the prayer, they were like, for deeper study, they would list it there. So it was like to see it on this program was like, okay, this isn't the first time that I've seen it this week. This is, I'm seeing it for the fourth time. So it felt like hey from heaven. It felt like, oh, okay, this is cool. This feels like a good sign to be at church today. So and church was fine. It was good. The music in terms of musicians are great. The singing, this no shade. It's interesting. And I'm not being shady, but sometimes with churches, who comes to sing can vary. It can be people who they sing their best, but they might not be the best singers, but they're gonna sing and they're gonna show up and come to practice. And I understand it completely because I used to play for the youth and young adult choir growing up, and they used to have a rule about people that they wanted you to come if they sang on the fourth Sunday, and they would have practice on the third and the fourth Saturday, and they would tell us. And even before I played for that choir, the rule was okay. You maybe in your schedule, or because some people, at this time, youth and young adult did not necessarily mean everybody just drives themselves. So they were like, hey, we get it. You might not be able to drive down here. Your parents, your caregiver might not be able to drive down here for both Saturday sessions, but you had to at least make one of them. I lose count at the number of times where you would practice a song and then and I when I was playing for them, I would ask the youth what they wanted to sing because I felt like if I play what you want to sing, you're more likely to participate than if I just start just thinking what I want. So I would learn the songs that they wanted to sing. And I always remember there was this one time where I can't remember the name of the gospel song. And I remember it was one of a young adult. She was in high school, and she said she had a beautiful voice, wonderful voice. I also remember that growing up choir experience because we often got trained in singing from the voice majors that would come from Payne over there, and they would be our musician, the voice majors. So you learned all the voice scales, all the things that they had to do. That's what they taught us. so so you knew that, and about singing and about parts and harmonization. That's what they taught us growing up. And I remember at this time I was playing for the choir, and I had found a song, and this young adult, she really wanted to lead the song, and she came to the practices. She had a beautiful, beautiful song. I mean, a beautiful voice. I said beautiful voice. And she came to the practices, and Sunday comes where I'm looking after Sunday school because I get there Sunday school because during that time my dad was the Sunday school. I don't think he drove the van, but we would show up for Sunday school. So you sit through Sunday school and you go get your choir robe, and I'm noticing all the people that are coming. They're marching in. The choir is. I'm already up there with the minister of music, and I'm like, I don't even see this young adult. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I was like, well, you got to keep going because it's not like we're going to change the songs. We're doing the songs that we said that we're going to do. And sure enough, we get to they've done the prayer, and then they would do the Lord's prayer, and then after the Lord's prayer, the doors would open up, the ushers would let people in, and then I would be starting the introduction of the song and singing just like anybody else any other Sunday. And I remember that Sunday I had finished playing the introduction, and they opened up the doors, and I had fixed my seat, and I looked to the right because I'm nosy, and I looked at the doors, and there she was walking down, not to the choir loft, but to her seat. So, and to this day, I have no idea if she got in trouble and her grandmother, because she lived with her grandmother, if her grandmother said you ain't singing today, or if it was just one of those days where she ain't feeling that. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, but I was like, hey, the show must go on. So I played the introduction. I can't remember in this story who sang I don't know if we had a backup person or if I ended up singing the verse. It's fine. It's but I say all that to say when it comes to choirs, it can vary. And I still remember the time when that song Order My Steps was extremely really popular. And I went to my music teacher, Miss Clark's church. She was the minister of music at this Baptist church, and that church used to be packed because at that time it was Reverend Otis Moss. He has a book out, I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the book, but he's a pastor in Chicago now, and it's been there for some years. Great theologian and scholar, and he was the pastor of that church at that time, and she was the minister or one of the ministers of music. And I remember, like I said, Order My Steps was the popular song, and I'll never forget, it was also that church was super packed no matter what time you got there. I don't know what time you had to get there to get on the front, like in the down on the lower level, because I was in the balcony. Even though I had gotten there, I was like, oh, I can't get down there. So I'm gonna sit up in the balcony. And I remember the most amazing thing that had happened was when Miss Clark started the introduction, a lady from the floor came up and sang the song. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I was like, this is awesome. The choir was great. They did a really great job. I didn't get a chance to stay like to the entire I stayed to the end of service, but like they were having, a reception or something, and I didn't have time to stay to that because I was a college student at that time, and I think that particular Sunday I was going to work to my work study assignment. And I remember it was probably a week or two later when I went back to my piano lesson because Miss Clark would help me learn the songs for the youth and young adult choir. And I was asking her about that experience, and I fell out at the piano because when I was saying, I said, oh, that lady was so amazing. I said, what's her name? When Miss Clark looked at me and said, I don't know that woman. I said, what? she was like, she was like, I don't know her. She was like, no. That was not the lady that had practiced with us, or practiced to sing that song. She's like, I played the introduction. That lady came up and grabbed the mic and sang. She was like, and what was I supposed to do? She said, the music must go on. So, church stories. All I can say is, who knows? And like I said, they had, it was Men's Day. They had three guys up there. They did their best, but the songs were lively. They sang songs that I knew: Wade in the Water, Yes, God is Real. So it gave me that feeling of church, of my childhood, from the songs that they sang. And the people were really nice. And I always go back and forth in terms of going to church, especially going to Black churches, because I'm like, oh, I've had different experiences in Black church, specifically when it comes to being out. Do I wear a tie? Do I not wear a tie? Uh, and I just remember this morning I was getting dressed and I had found this light sweater to wear and a dress shirt and some slacks. And these days in my journey, spiritual journey, or just where I'm at every day in my life, I feel like sometimes the Holy Spirit reads me. I don't know. It's just how I feel, because I'm in the bathroom, I'm washing my face, getting ready to start my day, getting ready to jump in the shower and stuff. And I'm telling Jesus, well, I'm going to go to this church today. And it's also important to know I have not been to in-person physical church service since the last service that I went to was my father's funeral. I've not been to any like physical in person. I watched online on Zoom, but like to go to a physical church service, I've not done that. I've had great attempts at going, and then I would change my mind. So so, I'm like, today I just really felt like going. I really wanted to get out of the house and go to service. And I had already decided, well, I've been watching Bethel, online for the past month. And I sing, with the songs that they sing from right here at my, computer desk. I might as well just go on down there and just go to church. I said, but I never know how it is to go to Black church, because it always blows my mind. Is I've gotten more acceptance for being LGBTQ plus in white churches than, and I'm not necessarily acceptance, but just affirmation or positive experiences. And being around my own people, or people that share the same melanin that you do, I've had varied experiences. So I was thinking about that. And I was like, oh, do I wear a tie? And like when I was saying, I think the Holy Spirit reads me, because I really felt the Holy Spirit said to me, you gay, whether or not you put that tie on or not. Still gay. So, so, and let's get out of performing and pretending to be something that we're not. We're being the real you, the same you that you right here. You're going to be there everywhere you go. Okay. Thanks. I literally felt like you didn't get to read me like this. So, that's what I did. I went and just focused on, you know, being me, the real me, authentic me. Uh, so it was cool. I had a good time at church. It was nice. The people were nice. And then they also had a light reception, but I'm greedy, so I was gonna see what they made, but I couldn't tell what they were gonna making before, because they were just doing preparation. But they went with sandwiches and pasta salad and cake. They had like, ham or turkey with lettuce, tomato, mustard, mayo, and onions. They also had tuna salad and chicken salad. I was looking at the tuna salad because I do love tuna salad, because they had the Ritz crackers. I love that. Felt like being in grandmama's house. That's that set up. It felt like being at Andy's, when you're gonna go make you a snack, and she got some tuna salad in the refrigerator and she got those Ritz crackers. That's what it gave me, childhood experiences. But that tuna that they had, when I looked at the bowl, I was like, I don't know. It didn't look like it was something. And I was like, I don't, my stomach is very sensitive. So I was like, let's eat what we know will not make us sick. And I'm like, ham slices or turkey and bread with mustard and lettuce and tomato never makes you sick. So I went with that and got me some chips. And of course, I got the cake, a slice of cake. I sure did. And I sat there and chatted with those people. And then I, told them, wish y'all a great week. It was good to see you. And I headed on out. So that was my Sunday. I finished chopping up my vegetables. I follow eating well because I'm always looking for something different to make because I've noticed that there's certain dishes that I make that now, my stomach is like, I don't really want that. So I found this recipe literally a few minutes ago. That's like a bowl. I love bowls, burrito bowls or some version of that. So it's got ground beef, it's got kidney beans, it's got red peppers in it, spinach, and garlic. And they have this sauce that you can make for the meat. I don't know if I'm going to use that because I'm just going to season the ground beef really well and go with that. But that's what we're making because I also have this chicken thighs. I was gonna make this chicken korma or chicken curry, but I am too pooped to be cutting up some chicken thighs. I just don't feel like it. So ground beef wins for today, and I will make that chicken dish later in the week because I've often found I need to have two different things because I can't just take the dinner that I make tonight for lunch and then come back and eat it again. So I'm like, that's interesting. That's just how my stomach does. But the good news is I have leftover this early, I think it was Friday. Not Friday. Thursday I made taco salad. Keto taco salad. I love that. So I have some leftover ground beef from that. So I figured tonight I'm gonna eat that keto taco salad and I'll have the food that I made for dinner tomorrow, and I'll take a sandwich for lunch. Cause like I said, we can't eat that for lunch and eat it for dinner. Just can't. My stomach is like, ugh. So, so, and also don't want to waste food because groceries is just $1 million. It's That's my long-term goal, is to go in the grocery store and no longer be concerned about the price. And that day is coming. That day is coming where I just get it. And we're not concerned about the balance because it is there. Whether it's $5 or 50, 11, $100. That's my goal, to be able to go to the grocery store and buy whatever I want and not be concerned about, how long this has to last me. If I want to go to the grocery store every single day, then I can't. I don't know what it is about grocery stores. They're grocery stores and cooking are my calming place, probably because I turn the jazz on when I cook, or I'm always relaxed when I cook. It's something that's grounding for me. I realize that's not necessarily everybody's experience because I was talking with people I met at a reception for the humanities department, and one of the faculty members, she was saying that cooking was not exciting for her and or relaxing. She said when you said relaxing, I was like, what? She was like, because with her mother used to raise her voice or always say you're not doing it right, so she was like that really agitated her, so she didn't learn how to cook. And I was like, oh, I said, I'm so sorry that that happened. Or I said, oh, I see, that's what I was thinking too. And I was like, well, no, my job was a salad and ice. So, and then by the time I did learn to cook and follow instructions, I definitely wasn't calling my mother to ask her how to make stuff. I would call Mama Ernestine or I would call friends and they would, tell me what to do, or I'd ask, my wife how to do it. Or before I knew my wife, I would ask someone else and or follow Cooking Light magazines and also focus on, instructions that you or getting recipes. What I liked about Cooking Light, and I don't know if it still exists, but yeah, I'm sure it might. But they used the recipes that they would do. It was common things that you could use in other things. So this dish might be for chicken, but you could use it for some other type of meal too. So That's all I got. I'm just, on here yammering about my church experience, and cooking, and I'm getting ready to cook my food and watch some TV. I hope that you're having a great evening, that you're taking care of yourself, that if no one has said, I care about you, I see you, you matter, come here, you matter. Uh, and I'm rooting for you and cheering for you, whatever it is that you're doing. I'm hoping that you're doing the absolute best. And I am wishing you the absolute best evening and week ahead. You take care of yourselves. Thanks for tuning in and listening to the Wiley Report. You have a good night. Peace.